First, welcome everybody. It's good to see you all this morning. Thank you for taking some time to join us. We do have some important items on the agenda. And Amy, thank you so much for your sponsorship. We really appreciate Kaiser Permanente, not only for sponsoring us for the Education and Workforce Committee, but everything that you do for our community. Kaiser, of course, has a huge impact on the San Fernando Valley and throughout the country, but especially here in the San Fernando Valley with your campuses. So thank you. And with that, Amy, did you want to say anything to the group? And I don't mean to put you on the spot.
Yeah, I had some prepared remarks. I was going to talk a little bit about, some of our clinical partnerships today. I don't know if that's, you want me to jump in there now, or if that was further down the line in the agenda.
Yeah, Amy, let's see. I'm glancing at the agenda. Why don't I go ahead and turn it over to you to jump right into it right now.
Great. Well, thank you, everyone. Hi, I'm Amy Weiss. I'm the Community Health Manager for Kaiser Permanente, and so happy to be here with all of you all. Completely agree. Education and healthcare are certainly tied, but they're tied even more so through this pandemic. Every time I speak with somebody in education, whether it be from kindergarten to college level, we know how important those two systems need to work together, certainly throughout the pandemic. And I see Jane there. I have to give just a little shout out to I'm a CSUN alum, so proud CSUN alum from the Valley. And also want to just acknowledge many of you who are, in the education system. We work with many of your campuses, with your colleges on a variety of clinical partnerships, and that goes hand in hand. So we just want to say we really appreciate those partnerships across the San Fernando Valley as well. I was asked to share just a little bit more about a particular program, but I want to just give a little bit of history about just Kaiser Permanente itself. It is the nation's largest nonprofit integrated healthcare system. We proudly serve over 12.6 million members from 734 locations across 8 states and in DC. And at the heart of the healthcare are 305,000 Kaiser Permanente employees and physicians who really work to maximize total health of our members, our employees, and our communities. So, and I know how proud they are. They come from our communities, and I know how proud they are to be serving our communities to create a healthier today and tomorrow. We know the healthcare industry overall saw losses due to the Great Resignation, burnout, limited talent pipeline, and the demands throughout the pandemic. We know that that's seen in the educational system as well. But Kaiser Permanente remains deeply committed to providing high wages, excellent benefits, and being an employer of choice. We are hiring, just like everyone in healthcare. We are hiring. We are hosting job fairs across Southern California at all of our facilities quite often. You can always find out more about that at kp.org/careers for more information. But part of being an employer of choice is providing clinical partnership opportunities for students, as well as opportunities for current employees to skill up. So I've been asked to share a little bit about one of the particular programs, a new program in particular. We've had a student nurse externship program for over 10 years, and that really is a 10-week program designed to provide senior traditional bachelor BSN nursing students with valuable clinical experience before graduation, enabling them to enter the workforce with enhanced professional development, a stronger sense of self-confidence, and improved care experience to safely deliver quality patient care. However, I'd like to highlight our new regional new graduate registered nurse transition to practice program. I know it's a mouthful. This program is an ANCC practice transition accreditation program. It sets the global standard for residency and fellowship programs that transition registered nurses and advanced practice registered nurses into new practice settings. The design of the new graduate RN program involves a phased approach over a 6-month period. The first 10-week phase is clinical immersion and preceptor phase, with each new graduate RN being supported by an experienced nurse preceptor as they develop clinical judgment, critical thinking, and their nursing professional identity. Clinical assignments are designed to incrementally build the new graduate RN's clinical competence through robust nurse graduate RN and preceptor relationships. They really become their mentors. The second phase, weeks 11 to 26, is the mentorship phase, and that begins with an orientation of a new graduate RN and their mentors. This phase involves an experienced nurse mentor who helps guides and supports the new graduate RN on their professional journey, and they set SMART goals to really work towards their goal and achievement in collaboration with their mentors. So I, being the community health manager, and representing a lot of great work that our teams are doing across Southern California in a variety of professions. But if you're interested in learning more about this specific program or any of our nursing pathway programs, I'll go ahead and put it in the chat, but we have a nursing pathway site that really explains a variety of opportunities, or I can connect you directly to our Southern California Regional Director of Nursing Professional Development and Education. I'd be happy to do that as well. So thank you for your time today, and look forward to connecting with you all.
Thank you, Amy. I'd like to make one comment if I can, and we'll see if anyone has any questions of you. But my comment is to express gratitude to Kaiser, not just for your support of the Valley Economic Alliance, but all of us that have RN programs. Your clinical placements are absolutely critical for our training programs. We really appreciate you opening up the doors and allowing us, and throughout the pandemic, that we've been able to place our nursing students with you, and all the support. You constantly find many ways of supporting the nursing programs. So thank you for that. It's terrific to have this partnership to try to meet this important workforce need. And I'm not just speaking for LA Valley College, but all of the local nursing programs, all the community colleges with nursing programs, and I'm sure CSUN as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any questions for Amy? I don't see any hands. Erica, do you mind posting the agenda into the chat?
Oh, sure, of course.
As the handout on the labor markets. Nathan.
There we go. Good morning, and Amy, good morning to you. Thank you. I'll echo Barry's comments and others for KP sponsorship. One question I had is a few institutions like Saybrook's are really focused in the mental health area, right? And so particularly in graduate level mental health. And I do know that Kaiser is working to beef that section up because there is a need for therapists. I don't know if now is appropriate because I know you're focusing on nursing, but if there is an opportunity for us, given the national mental health crisis, given the focus here, would love to touch base with you about how we might be able to interface both at Saybrook, but also across the region, because we're forming an alliance around that front.
Wonderful. Yeah, I'd be happy to connect you. Like, we have a variety of clinical partnerships. We have them in the mental health space. We have them in allied health. So nursing is just what we talked about today. So happy to connect you to the correct people to explore that. Thank you, Nathan.
Thank you, Amy.
Thank you, President Long. And Amy, I should have also acknowledged my nephew. Thank you for bringing that up, Nathan. My nephew just started with Kaiser in Walnut Creek. He just finished his PsyD and is actually doing his hours with Kaiser.
All right.
Terrific opportunity.
So wonderful to hear.
Yeah, mental health, getting mental health professionals trained is so important. And thank you, President Long, for your efforts doing that. Giovanni.
Thank you so much. Good morning, Giovanni Ragsdale with Boys and Girls Club of the West Valley. And I just want to thank Amy and Kaiser for all that you guys do to continue to improve and engage. I would love an opportunity, to share just how do we go from that college level and the initiatives that we're doing and take it that one notch down to the high school students, to help them understand the beautiful pathway of career path in the healthcare industries and some of these other career paths that we'll be talking about today, because that's where the seed really needs to be planted. So I'm excited to be part of this group and to hear what you're doing and hopefully engage in ways that we can take it to that next level, to create the passion network moving into those areas.
I'd be happy to share a variety of what Kaiser Permanente is doing in that realm. We do have a variety of youth workforce development programs, starting with our Speakers Bureau for our, elementary school level, to our Hippocracy Circle program in middle school, and then some of our high school programs where they can actually be employed with Kaiser Permanente or summer youth employment programs. So I'll be happy to put information in the chat around that as well and connect with you, Giovanni. Thank you.
And Erica, maybe we can note that for a possible future agenda item too, to dive a little bit deeper there. There's been so much interest in internships and different ways of engaging high school students in important industries. With that, let me go ahead and share a screen. Perhaps I should have done this at the beginning, but I'm going to share the agenda with everybody. So we just went through the first couple of items. I'm going to share an economic summary report in just a moment. We'll have committee updates, and then Donna will lead us in self-introductions and a discussion item. And let me switch over to the next item, as I mentioned, and this really does build off nicely what Amy was just sharing on the interconnection between the education and health industries. This is the latest economic data for our region, and then it has some comparisons with California and the United States. The largest employment sector is education and health services at 916,000 jobs. And you can see each of the different connections. Many of these are absolutely critical to the health of our local areas, of course. Unemployment rates, as you can see, are going up, and LA County is higher than both California and the United States. The United States still is enjoying a relatively low unemployment rate at 3.8%. It's going up, but it's still relatively low. Looking at historic numbers, LA County is substantially higher, though. And then you can see different regions. The top 10 employers, you can also see Kaiser being in the top 3 on the list, with UCLA, Northrop, and then Providence, Cedars, and USC. You can see the top 10 occupations. Again, we couldn't have timed this better with the comments from Amy, with the #1 occupation for job openings for folks that are looking for employees, registered nursing. And then the top 10 cities, of course, Los Angeles being the largest city, tops that list. And you have this in the chat as well. So feel free to look that over when you have a moment. And I'm going to go to the next item on the agenda. I'm going to pull it back up. Give me just a second. And I just lost it. Here we go. Employer needs assessment. I'm going to see if Lila's here. I don't see Lila from the mayor's office. As you know, we are doing an emailed survey to employers asking for their feedback on workforce needs. The mayor's office helped us push that survey out. They are sending another update on that survey, requesting more participation. So that'll go out shortly. In addition to the emailed survey, we're starting some telephone interviews with major companies here in the San Fernando Valley. We have developed a list and a survey protocol, so that's completed. The list of major employers, we have just over 100 that's on it. and we'll begin those interviews in the next month or so. So that's our larger strategy to get more feedback and understand the local workforce needs for companies here in San Fernando Valley. Any questions on that? Okay, let me turn it over to President Long for the talent market strategy brief update. If you have one, President Long.
I have a very brief update, so let's see if I can get this done briefly. So in terms of the talent development brief that we've been working on, where we left it in June is the need for the survey data, Barry, that you're talking about. And we're looking for ways to support some of the areas. We had a few folks from our Cal Lutheran and CSU Northridge that had to step off due to other projects. So Sonia and I, and then I would assume President Gribbins and Donna will be working together to identify the updated timeline. I'm really hoping to get it done this year with the data, and we're going to have to update some of those components, of course. So forthcoming, waiting on the survey data, but looking forward to getting that information because I think that'll round out some of the important data sets that we'll need. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Nathan. Our next item on the agenda is Workforce of the Future Leadership Directory update. Donna, can you provide us an update on that effort?
Yes, thank you, Barry. Yeah, every meeting you'll hear us mention this either in detail or briefly, but on our Alliance website and in the agenda, there's a link for you to register in our directory, our professional directory. You know, it's like a index of professionals in our community that are willing to work with our educational institutions in your area of expertise. And by registering with or online in this directory, you're giving the schools and universities access to you. And you could select a bunch of different ways to volunteer your time, either by consulting with the educators about curriculum needs. Maybe you have internships that you want the universities and schools to know about. Maybe you're willing to do a presentation in front of a class. There's a variety of things you can do. It's not a lot of your time, maybe won't be any of your time, but just registering online you know, allows us to build this community of professionals to connect with our educational institutions when they need access to someone with your skills. So if you could do that, we would be grateful. All right, every meeting we seem to get a few more people, but we don't have nearly enough. But, you know, repetition is our friend, so we'll continue to ask. Barry, do you want me to go right into the next item?
Yeah, that'd be terrific. And I want to just do a quick recognition. Freddie, I think that idea came from you initially. So thank you for launching that. It's, I think, a terrific effort.
Thanks.
Agreed.
Yeah, thank you, Donna.
Yeah, agreed, Freddie. Thank you. Thank you. Great. Always having great ideas and input for us. So I'm going to combine two items, Barry. So I'm going to do, there's 35, 36 of us. I'm going to do self-introductions. But when you self-introduce yourself, if you would answer this question. Okay, so we have a question for the group today. It's a question about challenges or opportunities. You can spin that any way you want, that you're seeing in your workforce, in your working situation today. So what the question is, you know, what challenges and opportunities are you currently observing in the workforce? And I'm going to give you some common challenges and opportunities that we see today in the workforce, right? So some of the, if you, depending on what side of the table you're on, maybe it's performance management. Maybe truly getting productivity to the level you need it is something you're observing. Maybe it's employee engagement. Maybe you're not feeling your workforce is engaged. Maybe you as an employee don't feel engaged with your employer. Maybe it's skills training or training in general. This is an opportunity. It's an issue. It's a challenge we're seeing. Upskilling, reskilling, just accessing skills in general is a huge challenge in the workforce. We have some company or organizational culture issues that seem to create a lack of engagement, turnover. This is just a conflict or cultural issues that we're seeing in the workforce today. One other big opportunity and issue we see is technology and tools. Oh my God, technology and tools. How do you afford them? How do you train on them? How do you get them deployed throughout your organization? Big issues. And one of my favorite, of course, being in staffing for 40 years, staffing, a lack of access to skilled workers, no skilled workers, just, understaffed teams, staffing in general. Those are some of the common issues. So as we self-introduce, maybe you could, and I know we're recording this, Erica, I'm not going to be able to take all the notes, but at some point we could compile all the answers. But as you introduce yourself, maybe you could give me one, two, or as many, or none, whatever issues and opportunities you're seeing in the workforce. So I'm going to do like this upper, I'm going to go across the screen, and Giovanni, I'm going to start with you. Oh, you're on mute.
My shortcut didn't work there for the unmuting. Good morning, Giovanni Ragsdale, Boys and Girls Club of the West Valley. I think being in the nonprofit world that we're in, one of the biggest challenges that we're seeing is the ever-growing cost of paying the workforce, and yet the financial economic challenges where a lot of our government contracts and initiatives are actually lowering the payment scale to us. And so there's like this very tight squeeze that we're feeling right now that goes straight to the economic engagement. And I think it's that ever challenge, right? Of how do you upscale and know that you're hiring people at a good livable wage, but at the same time that they have the skills to do what you need them to do, and not just like, well, gosh darn it, I deserve this because everybody else has it, right? Kind of situation. And so it's an interesting area as you work with so many generations in the workforce that we have never been so many, right? In that area, and we continue to see that growth happen with the younger generations. So that's what I would speak to right now.
It's a really important dilemma, isn't it? Affording the cost of the total cost of an employee and total cost of our worker. Thank you. Erica, I'm going to go over to you if you don't mind. I should have started with you, but I'm going to just give you an opportunity really quickly to introduce yourself too.
Oh, thank you. I'm Erica with the Valley Economic Alliance. Thank you so much for everything that you all do. So appreciate everything. I just feel like my friends have been telling me how their children who have just graduated and all that have such challenges getting employment. They apply, they can't get, it's not like it used to be where it was like you could call and check on your application, stuff like that. So that's really what I hear, is that they're, these not young, I mean, in their 20s and just out of school trying to find in social media, graphic designing, like all the areas that you hear about, but they seem to not be able to get through the door somehow. So if we can help them in any way, I think that would be great. Thank you.
It's a very real issue, isn't it? Trying to navigate through all the online tools, through all the recruiters, through all the employers, and and we keep hearing, oh, the older generation's going to retire, opening up all these jobs for the younger generation, but the older generation isn't retiring yet. So there does seem to be fewer jobs, not to mention a lot of technology is doing the work of some of these, graphic design, jobs that people used to do. So thank you, Erica. Very real. Rosemary.
Hi, good morning, everybody.
Hi.
Hi, my name is Rosemary Jaramillo, and I'm a case manager for the 5 Ventures, and I believe that the challenges that I have that we always had in the moment is for reentry people. We're having a lot of we're trying to change the mindset of employers, to provide an opportunity to to our participants are trying to come back to society, and they always hit like a roadblock or, and that's what I'm trying to get to talk to companies to be more open-minded, to see that our participants had already paid their dues to society, and now they just knocking on the doors, to just for somebody to give them an opportunity to be able to support themselves and to support their families and not going back to their old ways, but I'm attending these meetings, because I want to learn more. I want to see how I can assist my participants. If you guys have any companies that that are hiring reentry, please let me know, because I'm very, I'm trying to help as many people as I can to be able to continue to support themselves and their families, and for them not to go back to what they we're in for, so and my name is Rosemary Jaramillo from the 5 Ventures, and my email is just rjjaramillo@the5ventures.org, and I'm gonna put it on the chat line just in case any companies that would be interested to support our participants for reentry. You guys are amazing, by the way. Thank you.
Oh, no, you're amazing, Rosemary. Thank you so much. Again, these issues are so real and unique to everyone. Thank you. Jane.
Hi, good morning. I'm Jane Rosenthal Deacon. I'm Assistant Dean for Program Development at CSUN. So I'm always looking for programs to develop. It's in the title. And the biggest challenge I'm seeing is the technology, both data literacy, because we're just inundated with data. What do you do with it and make good decisions with that? And that's what I'm hearing from all our workforce partners, is needing people who are skilled in looking at data. And then AI is just throwing everything for a loop right now. So I'm having conversations everywhere and learning myself. So I have AI literacy and understand what the tools can and can't do. I'm hearing a lot of fear of people fearing being replaced by AI tools, or companies even saying, hey, how much money can we save by having AI do it? But also seeing those limitations and knowing that's not a good solution either. And so I would say that's the area that I've been obsessing over for the last couple of months, is really looking both at data literacy and AI and other technology literacy.
Thank you, Jane. Yeah, it's unbelievable that Chat CPT or GBT, just launched 6 months ago and it's already changed our world, right? So it's crazy how fast technology is changing, and it's data and AI, they say, that will take our mind share of technology the next few months anyway.
Well, there's a lot of ethical and copyright, there's so many issues tangled up in all of that. And so I'm hearing from folks entangled in those kinds of issues as well. So it's a bit of a Wild West right now, and really an exciting time too.
Absolutely. I mean, we have to embrace it. We just have to control it and understand it and relearn and acquire the skills. Thank you. Thank you. Stephen, hi.
Good morning, Stephen Contreras, Wells Fargo District Manager. And, it's interesting. I've been in the financial services industry now for over 20 years. And, whether it's generational or dealing with the current state of economy, I think the challenges around staffing have been very common over the years. And, when I look at what we're experiencing now, retaining employees seems to be a challenge, and not necessarily from we offer some really great benefits. We offer tuition reimbursement. We're very flexible, whether they're full-time or part-time, to really help balance their quest to obtain higher education. But we're finding challenges just with employees showing up, whether we hire them and then they ghost us, or they get hired and they show up for a couple of weeks and then they just stop showing up. They call out or we can't reach them. And it's really hard to, put our finger on exactly what's driving that. I think personally, we're very competitive with pay. We're not the highest, we're not the lowest. And, maybe it's being driven by the economy where they're finding a job that's paying $1 more and they're going elsewhere and they're not letting us know. And then what we're finding sometimes is those folks are returning back because maybe there wasn't as much growth opportunity that, in that organization that was paying them more as what we could offer here at Wells Fargo. But yeah, I mean, we experience our fair share of staffing challenges, and so I'm sure some of you, whether it's Wells Fargo or other banks, walk in and we have only a handful of folks to help a lot of customers, and it's very challenging. There's a lot of ripple effects for us in terms of staffing challenges. But yeah, that's what I would add.
Oh, ghosting, I used to take it very personally. Like, I'm like, what did I do? What did I do? But it's become this very common, issue that the world is dealing with. And, I think one of the contributing factors is there's a lot of relationships built like this, virtually. And, there's that lack of that, face-to-face connection where you build that true bond and connection and commitment and loyalty. But hey, oh my God, this ghosting situation is real. And, I think we can spend a whole conference call talking about it. Barry, don't you agree? Like, I'm going to hand it over to you, Barry, to introduce yourself. But this is a real issue that's pretty new, but real.
Yeah, thank you, Donna. And I'm Barry Gribbins. I'm president of Los Angeles Valley College. It is, as for us, especially in the recruitment process, we have folks that go through a long recruitment process and then they just don't reply, or other things happen too. We may make an offer and then they they just decide that they didn't want the job after going through a long process. Dr. Jordan, who's with us here, just finished hiring close to 30 full-time faculty over the last couple of months. So it's been quite a process, a recruitment process. And we have 32, I think, additional positions that we're in recruitment for. So we are trying to do a lot of hiring. I know these numbers are tiny compared to Amy's, but nonetheless, we're trying to do a lot of hiring, and finding strong candidates, having really robust pools is a bit of a challenge. Donna, you're muted.
Oh, I'm going to turn it right over to Dr. Jordan to finish that comment. Amazing hiring spree you've been on.
Hi, I'm Matt Jordan. I'm the Vice President of Academic Affairs at Valley College. And yeah, I would completely reiterate what Barry said. Also, Jane's comments really struck a chord with me, trying to figure out how to adapt to artificial intelligence, how to use it to make our work more efficient, rather than seeing it solely as a challenge. And then the other thing I would mention is, we've been going through, like everyone over the last year, this process of adapting to employees' changing expectations about work that occurred as a result of the pandemic, and trying to balance that with the needs of our organization.
Yeah, you bring up a good point. Everything about work has changed over the past the workplace, the workspace, the workforce, like everything has changed. So but it's so great to have you join us, Dr. Jordan. Amy, I'm going to turn maybe you can tell us a little bit about your background, how long you've been with Kaiser, and maybe we can get to know you a little bit.
Oh, so proud CSUN grad who graduated in 99. So that gives you a little bit of background as far as age of when I was there. I actually played volleyball there. So I'm a huge supporter. My brothers played volleyball there. My sister played soccer there. My parents actually met in volleyball class at CSUN. So our roots are strong at CSUN. That's a little bit of background about me, but I've been with Kaiser Permanente for about 17 years now. So, and as a community health manager, I certainly work to look at how we're supporting our education systems, how we're connecting with our business support organizations. But I do a lot of work with nonprofits such as, Boys and Girls Club and others. I handle our grants program and really look at how we're addressing issues, such as housing, economic opportunity. And I think the things we're talking about today, education and jobs are kind of at the root of a lot of that. So I have the pleasure of working a lot with a variety of nonprofits across the area. And I don't only cover the San Fernando Valley, but the Santa Cruz and Antelope Valley areas. So I know that I work in some of those spaces with some of you as well. But happy to engage and again be a resource or a connection. Many times I might be representing a very large organization with a lot of wonderful people doing great work, so making those connections are always key.
Thank you again. Welcome. Hi, Walter.
Hi, everyone. I'm Walter Zeisel. I'm the Manager of Education Outreach with the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power. I've been at LADWP for literally 46 years, and I've been managing education, K-12, mostly for 36 years as part of all of my job. Some of the challenges, I've been trying to move our program from strictly offering, opportunities, curriculum, teacher training, like a high school science competition. We have Science Bowl. In the last 3-4 years, been moving into the career technical education area. We have a couple of adopted schools. We have 26 adopted schools, and I've got 2 that have CTE programs, one in engineering and the other in cybersecurity. But what we're trying to do is share information with students, parents, and teachers with regard to careers in water and electric utilities. People used to say, well, I've heard said, people, kids think and parents, family think about, police and fire, and everyone, I want to become a firefighter or a police officer. But everyone uses water and energy every day, but no one thinks about our industry as good places to work, which they are. So we have different groups doing different parts of it. I was instrumental. I was the president of the California Environmental Education Foundation, which is a statewide organization, and we established an organization called the Water Energy Education Alliance, WEA, which consists of about 50 different organizations, school districts, community colleges, LA, and nonprofit organizations, schools, with the idea of sharing information about this industry. There was some of you that are in the community colleges know that there's the statewide community college research group just did a study on water and energy industry, actually water and wastewater, which they took 10 different job classifications and projected what the openings that will be the next 5-10 years as a way for community colleges to come up with either beefing up their programs or going into these areas, because there are a few community colleges like LA Trade Tech and some of the other local ones that have programs in water and energy. So we're looking at, we have really good pay, benefits, opportunities, although we go through the LA City civil service system, but we're looking to recruit especially women, both in the engineering area and in skilled craft trades, as well as underrepresented minority. One of the new things that we did in the last couple of years working with LA Trade Tech is we developed this course called Introduction to Electricity, where students even in high school can take this course, and if they pass the certification, they become eligible for 5 civil service entry-level skill craft positions. So we're working hard to try to get the word out to schools. We have a long-standing partnership with LA Unified called Youth Service Academy, where we have about 30 students working for us. We're looking at summer internship programs, which sort of got delayed, because of the pandemic. We're getting back to that. Right now, we have an opening for this coming summer for those of you that are in, like Cal State, North Cal, CSUN. We have an annual engineering, it's called Student Engineer Program. So they just put out the application now. I'm not sure if it's due at the end. I haven't looked at it that closely. Usually do the end of this year for next summer. And we usually hire about 60 engineers from around the country, student engineers, to work for us in the summer. And then some actually that are local were able to work with us part-time during the year. So that's one of the things we've got. But like I said, we're trying to work out, and I'm trying to, while I spend most of my time running our school K-12 programs, and we got a list, and we have, by the way, I have a website, ladwp.com/education, and we have a whole list of our programs on there. But I'm trying to move into the workforce area as part of what I do. But like I said, I spend most of my time in K-12 and doing, programs, and we have a program called Pathful, where we have our speakers going online, doing webinars for students both locally and nationally.
Amazing, Walter. Thank you. I'm going to move on to Paul. We have about 10 minutes left, so let's quickly get through our intro. Paul, I'm going to, start with you again.
Okay. My name is Paul Fiddler. Jane, I have 2 degrees from Northridge. One of them is an MBA and one's economics degree. And I had a long career in manufacturing management. What I saw was a skills gap and people coming right out of universities not knowing how to jump in really quickly, and there was a lot of training involved. I was a training manager and operations manager for many companies, both in aerospace and commercial goods. I sort of diverted and went into education a little bit as a sideline, and I am now president of ASCM San Fernando Valley, which is a training organization we partner right now with Glendale Community College and College of the Canyons to provide education to adults in the manufacturing realm regarding planning, supply chain, purchasing, and those realms, and both in a general education format and more of a certification format. And I also am now an instructor at Cal State Northridge, teaching some of the same principles. And I'm glad to see that, and maybe you've been involved with it, Jane, that the SAP certification. I was always looking for somebody that was coming out of universities that had an SOM education and also something, also just something, because when they came in with just the education, I struggled to train them what I needed to train. So now that they're giving the SAP, that would have given them a leg up, at least bringing them in. Otherwise, I was be looking for some of the things that I teach in ASCM if they had some courses in that. So that's what I'm doing. I'll put my contact information in the chat if somebody interested in getting more education in that realm. Thanks.
Amazing. Thank you. Dr. Long.
Yes, good morning, everyone. Good to be here. I'm Nathan Long, president of Saybrook University. We're an employer of about 252 faculty and roughly 50 staff, so a little over 300 folks at our small institution of about 1,100 students. Our core focus has always been in the areas of mental health, wellness, and also transformative social change. So our mission is that. With that said, in terms of the direct question around workforce needs, I want to echo what Erica was saying first and foremost. One of the things that we have been hearing from our grads and from a lot of our students is the lack of responsiveness by a lot of employers who, and I'm not putting this on all of you, but looking at kind of the national trend, that there is a constant refrain that employees aren't coming too. But there's so much, the applications are getting balled up in application portals and online stuff. I'm not sure what's going on there, but it does appear that there are some gaps there that we could be looking at and addressing. The other area that we've been talking to our other partners with is the desperate need. And for those of you on the line, I don't know if this is something for you, but it's in the space of HR professionals and hiring. There is for whatever reason, it's super competitive and super difficult to retain these HR professionals because they're jumping from job to job in a lot of cases. So I'd be curious for us to look at that as an area of support and how we do that. And I think it also ties into the last point I would say is that we had a big symposium at one of our residential learning experiences around the topic of employer loyalty. So this goes to a lot of the discussions we've been hearing lately that employees, especially our students and our partners, are saying we're not being able to retain the employees, but employees are saying employers don't feel very loyal to us. And so there's a disconnect, I think, in that space. So it speaks to sort of maybe the ghosting, the lack of buy-in, sort of the quick turnover. What does that loyalty need to look like, I think, for the future? Certainly economics plays a role. I mean, we all run businesses, or most of us do, or organizations. So can't always be rainbows and unicorns, as we say, but we certainly do need to work in that space. So those are some of the three key areas that I would kind of point out. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Really, I read something the other day that maybe speaks to all three of those, and it's culture is everybody's job. Like, it goes both ways, employee, employer, it's everybody's job at your organization, right? But thank you, Dr. Long. Hi, Jose, are you still there?
Yeah,
Yes, I am.
Oh, I don't know which Jose. There's multiple Jose's.
You were sitting so still, I thought it was a screenshot.
Donna, I don't know what Jose you're. I think there's multiple Jose's here.
You're it.
Okay, perfect. So good morning, everyone. I'll make it short and sweet. My name's Jose Pelayo. I'm the program manager of workforce development with Los Angeles County Economic Development Corporation. For those of you that don't know, LADC in short champions equitable economic growth in the LA region. I want to give a different perspective to piggyback on what Jane said earlier, and a different opportunity in AI is making sure we bring awareness into those disinvested communities and marginalized populations, because it's definitely going to take a toll in all industries. And in regards to employer interaction that we do on a daily basis, one thing that's been consistent is the need for soft skills. That's been something that is heard across all industries, the importance of soft skills and how the new generation may not have those skills. So again, that's my feedback. Pleasure to be here. And thank you.
Thank you. Very important. I'm going to go right over to Josie.
Hi, good morning, everybody. I'm Josie Casarubias, and I work for the San Fernando Valley Rescue Mission. I am the program manager. And as many of you maybe have heard before, we run a family shelter where we help families that are experiencing homelessness, and our doors open to all sorts of situations. Currently, one of the biggest challenges that we have, and I know you all spoke about the different challenges in your work area. I have very similar challenges as the rest of you, staff, as a nonprofit, trying to stay on that scale financially to keep our staff and our, the people that come work for us. But in addition to that, and I think, it's expected that I speak about it, but I want to shed some light on something that I think you all may be able to help me or give me some input. The population, the group that is coming to us, the need at the moment are immigrant families. They're coming to us. They don't qualify for a lot of programs. They don't qualify for many resources. And I am seeing a continuous challenge on how to help them. You know, they're being released, my understanding are by the bus loads, and I'm getting the calls of the single mom, the children. And so I think for me, my biggest challenge is how or what resources or information do any of you have that can help me help these families through our program. I thank you guys for doing this. This is encouraging when I, you know, even if I'm on a Zoom call and I've had a busy day and I hear everything else that's happening outside of my little bubble here, I realize that, you know, there's others that are facing different challenges. And so it reminds me that hopefully this will pass soon. But in the process, I would love to hear from any of you about any information. I'd be grateful for that. Thank you.
Thank you, Josie, so much. Hi, Freddie.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Freddie Salcedo. I'm Dean with Career Education and Workforce Development at Glendale Community College. And as everyone is sharing their stories, from a student's perspective, I think some challenges that we've been exposed to, I'd say within the last 5 years or so, is really having students transition into marketing themselves in this new environment, right? We still have a lot of students who attempt and want to market themselves with the traditional resume and cover letter and, you know, go to a job fair and physically hand something over. Whereas in today's climate, it's very different. You have to have a digital presence, right? On LinkedIn or any of the other professional sites, you know, to really increase your marketing of who you are, your skill sets, et cetera. So really transitioning students into that new landscape. We have a lot of incumbent workers or older adult students who have also not been exposed to the digital arena as far as the workforce. So really, you know, exposing them, increasing their comfort level, and really having them have a presence in that new environment. So that continues to be a challenge, but I think with technology, the way it's evolving, that I think everyone eventually will be on the same path. As far as opportunities, someone mentioned this, actually a few of you have already mentioned this, but I think there's still a lot of opportunity with really being intentional with supporting disenfranchised groups in certain industries, right? Whether it's underrepresented genders, minorities, abilities, LGBTQ, you know, there's a lot of employers, a lot of industries that are doing an excellent job when it comes to just branding, promoting their workforce. You know, our students are very savvy. You know, they're researching, they're going in, they're looking at reviews. They really pay attention to how the company or the organization presents itself, right? Because that's usually what they're going to see on a social media ad, on their Instagram, their Facebook, et cetera. And that's going to be the trigger as far as, do I see myself working there? You know, do I have a sense of belonging at the onset? If they don't see that right away, it's going to be hard to really capture them and engage, you know, with them, let alone have them apply and pursue a possible job opportunity. So I think that there's still a lot of opportunities to really be intentional with some of those efforts, with branding efforts. And, you know, if we can all continue just to prioritize those items, I think it'll make the landscape, you know, more equitable and definitely more diverse for everyone. Thanks.
Thank you, Freddie. Again, always such great comments. Well, listen, Barry, I know we're up. Our time is up. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to say, but we're going to go through and just do our self-introductions. And if you could put your comment in the comment section about, you know, what opportunity or what observation you have, we'll capture those. Right, Erica? All right. So I apologize. I know I tend to facilitate long meetings and engage people maybe a little over our time allotment, Barry, but I apologize to everyone. So Remy, and then I'm going to go, Celia, you know, just introduce yourselves quickly for us. Thank you, Remy. I'll start with you.
Yeah, I was just literally typing everything in. So Remy Mraz, CEO of Zella Life. We help organizations upskill soft skills. And we're focused specifically on diverse talent and middle managers because they are the two largest workforce groups, but the most underserved when it comes to professional development. And I'll throw in all of the things that we're seeing with employees and employers and the challenges.
So good to have you with us, Remy. Celia. Are you still there?
Yes, thank you so much. I love being in this meeting, and this is the first time that I've met many of you in this group. I'm a lifetime bilingual workforce development professional, and I want to share that a lot of the topics that you're talking about, I do have resources because I am a curricular development professional. And in particular, the HR discussion, I also help Spanish speakers really navigate the workplace. And with the years of experience that we have as a team working directly with businesses on site and doing their training projects, both in English and in Spanish, we're taking that content, that experience, and we're sharing it with small business people who don't really understand how to set up their marketing and their HR practices. So a lot of the content that you're talking about, I'd love to partner with you and share those resources. And of course, the talent and intellectual intelligence that we've learned over 35 years in the workplace.
Always great to hear your voice, Celia. Thank you. Crystal.
Hi, yes, my name is Crystal Sims. I am the Director of Recruitment and Onboarding with LA Family Housing. We are the leading nonprofit organization for homeless services and real estate development in Service Planning Area 2. Our main campus is located in North Hollywood, and we have 26 properties and growing throughout all of LA County. And I would say that I would echo the same challenges that everyone has spoken about today. In addition, I would add that one of the things that we are focused on is career pathing, as we are finding more and more individuals wanting to transition out of their roles within a year or less. And so really having that streamlined career path for them where they can see a future at the agency is critical. And I appreciate everyone's comments today.
Thank you, Crystal. Hi, Jack.
Sorry, did you say Jack?
Yes.
Oh, good morning, everyone. My name is Jack Darakian. I put some info on in the chat box. I'm the Executive Director of Modern Support Services. I'm also a commissioner on LA County Commission on Disabilities appointed by Supervisor Barger. We provide home and community-based services to intellectual and developmentally disabled individuals 18 and over. We are vendored by the regional centers within LA County and Orange County. We have three offices in LA County, one in Orange County. Workforce about 125, provide services to about 160 individuals. We're looking for individuals. We're always looking. We're constantly hiring. We never have a downtime that we stop hiring or we stop interviewing. The good part is once we hire people, we have a good culture within our agency that most individuals stick around. The bad thing is, as I think one of the first individual that made a presentation, I forgot her name, sorry. We are very much connected to the payment rates that the state sets. So we can't go more than what we can pay. Our pay rate is $19 an hour, as an example, and our reimbursement rate is $38 an hour. Reimbursement rate goes up $2, but we have to increase our pay rate by $3 plus all the other stuff that go along. It's not a sustainable system we have. As she mentioned, we get squeezed in, and there comes a point where your hands are tied. So we lose a lot of individuals or staff because they get an extra 50 cents or extra dollar to in a different entity, and they just leave. Rightfully so. But that is a big challenge for us. It's a very industry specific challenge. But we're looking for individuals that are psych majors, social worker or social work majors, sociology, English, anyone that is willing to learn something new and experience new things. The other challenge we have is it is a community-based program, so they go out. Even though we provide the training, they go out on their own and provide services one-to-one to the individual who has a disability. And a lot of times people are not used to that one-to-one. They're always looking for support in the office and turn around and say, hey, I did this, what do you think? They don't have that. They obviously have cell phones, they can connect to their managers, but it's not the same as sitting in the office and just becomes natural, turn around and say, hey, what do you think? I did this, or I need this support, I need that help. So it's a little bit more of a challenge for them to connect with their supervisors. But again, we have probably close to 20 to 25 openings right now that we and the hiring process is somewhat tedious, as one of your other participants said. We put a lot of effort in interviewing and getting to know the person, connecting that relationship and the bond before we hire. And sometimes they go through that entire process. We put in 6-7 hours of interviews and applications and writing essays, and then they just leave. We don't hear back from them. So again, I'm open to any suggestions, any support that I can get from any one of you, and more than happy to chat with you and talk and share information. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you so much.
Donna, I see that we're over time. Perhaps I could suggest that at our next meeting, we can continue the conversation. I don't want to cut people brief, but why don't we do that? So for folks who haven't been able to share their thoughts on the hiring and do some introductions, we'll continue with this next time. We'll prioritize the folks who weren't able to talk today. Does that work for you, Donna?
It works for me. And I'm so sorry, everyone. Such a great meeting. Obviously, we could go on. And we appreciate all your time. Again, thank you, Amy, for joining us. And thank you to Kaiser. Erica, anything else before we say goodbye to everyone?
No, I can leave the chat on for a few minutes. If people just want to put stuff in, I'll be happy to do that.
I appreciate that. Yeah, we really appreciate that. If you would enter any comments you have in the chat bar, we'll compile those, and we appreciate your input. Thanks, Dr. Gribbins, and we'll see everyone later.
Thank you, Donna. Great conversation, everybody. Next meeting, December 13th at 9 a.m. Look forward to seeing everybody then.
Yes, we definitely look forward to seeing you all next time.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Donna, is there a link to that thing you were talking about, the directory?
Oh, Erica, did we put a link in the chat to the directory, or can we send it out?
Oh, sure. I'll be happy to.
Thank you.
Yes. A couple of people wanted it, so maybe you're going to send it out as an email, or?
Yeah, I'll send it in an email. Sure. It was attached to the agenda, so I'll send that again.
Yeah, there is a live link in the agenda, Paul, just FYI.
Okay, I didn't realize that. I can find that there. Thank you. Good morning.
Awesome. Awesome, Paul. Thank you so much. Hi, Matthew. You were next. And I'm like, oh, there's Matthew.
Hey, how's it going? I already reached out to you on LinkedIn, but I apologize. You know, part of the call I had to jump off. Yeah, and you know, you got to keep the plates spinning, right?
Holy moly! Holy moly! Don't we ever?
Yeah. So it was definitely that. So I mean, that's perfectly fine. I mean, you know, I've been attending the Valley Economic Alliance Zoom meetings, and I've been to a few in person. Well, just one so far. But I've got a few other ones, and so far this has been a pretty good group. You know, I think just trying to, you know, develop the relationships and see how it might be of use for, you know, anybody. I think this is probably a pretty good one to attend, just based on the fact that you know, the company I work for, AmeriFactors, we basically help payroll companies. Will finance payroll for companies like staffing businesses for nursing and manufacturers. And there's other industries that we service as well, but that's a pretty big focus because ultimately, you know, in a lot of cases for staffing businesses, whether it's a nursing staffing business or light industrial, it always comes down to making sure that you make payroll, right?
Got to make payroll.
Gotta
There's
make
no
payroll.
option. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like payroll or you die, and the wheels come off. And I certainly like to see small, medium-sized businesses, help kind of keep those employees out there and keep them working, and ultimately, make sure that they're able to grow, be successful, and everything in between. So
I think we're going to have an in-person meeting at the end. Isn't that, Erica, scheduled to be in person in December, our meeting?
I know we did last year, December, it was in person, so I'll find out if it's this year too.
Yeah, I'll have
Mhm.
to see. Although this
And if
works fine. We might have to give it 90 minutes instead of 60.
Right, I wonder if you need to just extend one of them for extra half hour.
Yeah.
Mhm. And everyone likes to talk and give opinions and everything like that. And when you're networking on Zoom and you're kind of constrained, you're like, how many people are here, and who gets how much time to talk, right? And most of the time it's like, hi, this is my name, this is what we do, thank you very much. And people don't feel like they've got enough say in there sometimes.
And the at the in-person meetings, we break out into these tables. So you have your table, you're just networking with that group continuously, and it all works. So
Yeah, I agree. I usually appreciate the in network in face networking in person. But I mean, you can't argue with the convenience of Zoom, right?
no, you can't. No, you can't.
Right, especially, I mean, for me particularly, I've got 3 small children, and so this is a big win. But on the flip side, in the afternoons and evenings, trying to get out to those networking events is always great. So I mean, I know there's a growth lab tomorrow. I think I won't be able to attend that one, but next week after that, there's another meeting on Tuesday, the 19th, for the Business Hub. And then I think there might be another one after that sometime. But those are the 2 that I have my calendar. And I'm always kind of getting the emails and always happy to attend. So
Awesome. It's so great.
all right. Well,
I'll see you. Bye, Matthew. And hi, Lizette.
Yeah. Very nice seeing everybody. Thank you. Have a good one.
Bye.
Thanks, Donna.
Thanks, Erica.
Good to see you. Take care.
Okay, bye.